So couldn't have wished for a more perfect setting for the very first match in Africa, featuring Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal with their celebrity teammates Trevor Noah and Bill Gates. So once we've got the refreshments out of the way, I think we're all set. Robbie Koenig reminding us that 1 point juices. Receiver will have choice of sides. Conditions here this evening absolutely perfect. Just a little bit of a breeze, but nowhere near as much wind as there was yesterday. And the court absolutely magnificent, the colour of African soil. So we're all set with Roger Federer to get us
Federer
on
to
the
serve. Point.
Nicely done. Robbie, who have you got as your favourites here?
Oh, tell you what, Federer and Gates are on a bit of a winning streak, aren't they, Jace?
No,
2 play, 2 wins. I think they'll be fancying themselves. I tell you what, Trevor is going to be nervous out there. I don't care how many big shows he's done in his life.
Out.
I mean, he's really trying to take him out, isn't he? I mean, he knows it's all about intimidation.
Bolt.
Oh, Trevor's off. He's got to be careful he doesn't go over the edge. I learnt earlier today, Robbie, it took over a year building this court virtually before they could come up with a plan that was going to be used this evening. They've done a magnificent job.
Oh, they really have.
Oh, Bill Gates with the hands.
Oh, those are $1 billion hands. That's what those are. Check this out. Yours. It's never a good thing.
Out. 40-30.
She's like this.
It's not the first time Federer's got a relatively speedy hold.
Game Federer Gate. First
Too
game.
true, Jason. This is what Bill loves. Yours. Oh, he had a funky grip going there, didn't he?
You were telling me he's been working very hard in his game.
He has. For the last 2 months, he's been putting in sessions. Five days a week to get into showroom condition, Jason, for this event.
Rafael Nadal to serve. $15 love.
Let's go, Bill. This is our point, Bill.
Yes.
Not so much.
Yeah, he liked that a lot, didn't he?
I would have returned that one.
That is not right. That is not right.
I came here to win.
Net. Best service.
Uh-oh. It's okay. Trevor, no worries.
It's okay. It's okay.
30-15.
Trevor looked a
One
little
ball,
disappointed
please.
there.
I mean,
What do you say about that volley, Trevor?
he's also here to win.
Come in.
Made it quite clear.
Trevor, I serve and you cross.
Okay.
Yes. We put a lot of pressure to them.
Mind games.
Yeah.
40-15.
Mind games.
I mean, there's no love there. Is there for Mr. Gates?
And
He's
now
given
what?
him that
Ace.
lefty
Ace?
slider.
Yeah,
It's caused
ace, why
Roger
not?
enough problems, little on Bill.
Ball.
Oh.
You. Oh.
Oh, that's nicely done. He'll be
Game
proud of his hang
Ronaldo.
time there.
Oh, a little
One
bit
game more.
of elevation.
Trevor,
What's the
Sensation.
score, Trevor?
Trevor. No.
Bill Gates to 7.
I didn't pay attention.
You go here, you go
We
here.
won so quickly. I
Your turn.
didn't pay
Yeah,
attention.
I know.
A couple of holds from
Yeah,
the big
just putting
boys.
pressure on them. Yeah. Uh-oh. You. Bravo. Let's go for it.
Oh.
Go! It's a good try.
Is Trevor playing on the wrong guy there?
15 love.
You could have hurt the people. If I didn't stop that, you could have hurt the people.
I know. I'm sorry.
Ball.
Yes,
Didn't take him long.
I saw him.
Yeah, that's been Federer's
You know-
kryptonite, hasn't it?
I've seen that forehand go by me so many times.
Yeah.
Sick and tired of it.
Ball.
Come on. Federer, going for us. Going for us.
30-15.
Yeah. Good one.
Oh.
Go for it, Trevor!
Yours, Bill.
Yes.
Out.
It's a good point.
I'm loving the Bill Gates grunt. Rather unusual.
Okay, Trevor,
Beautiful.
let's make this one. Where is the Hawkeye?
Rafa wants the challenge here.
You.
Noah sending the locals into a frenzy.
Of
course, the Vuvuzelas were so famous in 2010, weren't they, Jason?
Go for it. It's okay, it's okay. Golden point.
Juice.
I go for it, Trevor.
So remember, deciding point here for the game. Receivers have choice of sides.
Normal.
Normal. You go, Trevor, you go.
We were not sure exactly if it was deciding
Exactly,
point in this game or not, that it's normal game.
Oh,
Out.
nice serve, Bill.
I think the wind changed.
The wind,
Yeah.
it came.
Is that the northwest?
Yeah,
Someone was blowing a vuvuzela.
yeah. Was
Aren't you
We-
sure? What is that, vantage?
Wait.
Do we switch?
The point is finished.
The point is finished.
We switch. 2-1.
What do you mean the point is finished?
One is out on the other side.
What if I didn't have one racket, I would break it, my man.
They weren't listening to you, Robbie, when
Just
you told
a
them the
little
rules.
I mean,
okay.
typical schoolboy error from them.
2-1 in the opening set of
I
the
told you.
doubles.
They tried to play.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a not nice trick. Huh?
A nice positive start to this doubles. Everybody out there thoroughly enjoying themselves and settled into the opening set. Got a bit breezy though, not easy.
Yeah, not at all. I want you guys to have a close look at the top of Federer's shorts and his collar, because you'll notice the colours of the South African flag
The
there.
Gate leads 2-1.
I don't know whether you noticed earlier, Robbie, there was a poster in the crowd there. Robbie Koenig is king. Yeah, very nice.
Stop that.
Very nice.
No, there wasn't.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Just take a look at the top of his shorts there. Very nice.
Time.
Yeah,
So it's Federer and Gates with a 2-1 lead. Remember,
also a ball.
one-set doubles match to get us started this evening. This is
Trevor.
Trevor Noah.
Trevor. Ha. Oh,
Fault.
sorry, I was aiming for Bill.
Good one.
Out. Lava 15.
Nice header. Nice header. That's all that matters.
It's okay.
Thank you.
A couple of
Thank you.
famous
Thank you very much.
faces in the crowd.
Whew. Whew. All right. Breathe. Oh.
Fault.
Why do you say it like you said? You make me depressed. You must give me the ones like Wimbledon. Fault! I want to feel like I'm a professional. You said it like you knew I was going to lose. Ah, fault.
Oh yes.
Oh.
That's super good to spin.
15 all.
It was indeed super good spin.
All right. All right. Here we go, Roger Federer.
Fault.
Not sure you're allowed the
Now 40.
assist on the
I owe
second
you a
serve.
better one.
No,
Sorry.
no, no, no,
He's
no.
been spending too much
Not
time
love
in the US there.
15-30.
I owe you another one.
Come on.
30 all.
Let's, Trevor, serve ace. Easy.
Oh, Lord.
What? Going for the eighth?
Yeah.
Fault.
Roger, don't look
I'm
at
not
me
sure.
too hard.
I don't know, I was looking at the ball.
You're looking at me too hard.
Okay, okay.
You. Oh! My one!
Out.
Trevor's redlining his game right now.
He really was.
Good one.
I mean, Keena's mustard.
All that practice paying
40,
off.
30.
It's a nice roll on that
go,
forehand.
Come on. Here we go.
He was like, Rafa, get out of the way there, buddy. It's a lot of huffing and puffing.
Now,
hang on.
now we start. Now we start. Yeah. That's the way, that's the way. Now we are on the route.
Oh,
You.
Well, they do say
It's
you're
okay.
a product of the people that
Do
you
you
hang
have a
around,
deciding
Jason.
point?
So I guess a
Silver's
fair
choice.
few of Nadal's ticks
okay.
wearing off on
now
Trevor.
yes.
Roger Federer.
Another one of those deciding points
Now
here.
you can return, huh?
No,
Yeah,
we go this way.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going that way?
Yes.
I knew that.
The pros against the pros. Them against them.
That's our serve!
Game Nadal Noah. 2 games on.
Let's break now, huh? Easy.
Oh, wow.
So honours even, 2 apiece now.
Come on, Trevor.
Oh! Nice volley, Bill.
Good volley.
Oh, he snatched
Good on round.
defeat there from the jaws of victory on that point. He had it.
Yeah, Bill now is on fire on the net. Huh? He's on
15
fire.
love.
Difficult.
Out.
That's well left.
Little bit.
30 love.
Bill not quite as active as Trevor. Still getting the job done.
Oh yes. Go for it.
Bill refusing to cross there.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's.
30-15.
And I watched him practicing yesterday. He liked the volley, Jason. He was coming in a lot, but old school tennis. And he's breaking it out today at some big moments here.
Nice idea. We gotta watch him.
30 all.
That's his specialty.
Go, Bill!
Come on, Trevor. Go for it.
Go for it! Now!
Come on, go!
Go, Trevor! Mine?
You!
Bravo!
Obstruction, surely.
Finally shutting the gates on that rally.
Game Federer Gates.
52 straight
Federer
out of the
Gates
top
leads
draw.
3 games to 2.
3-2.
Tough one. Good point, by the way.
Can I lay? That was a nice point.
Bill's a little more static, isn't he, in the forecourt? Trevor tends to play a bit more all-court tennis. He's enjoying himself. Not easy out there. It has become a little bit breezy. Obviously, both will have been very, very nervous. Trevor doing a really good job. Most importantly, everybody having a really good time here. Hoping for more than 50,000 fans through the turnstiles this evening. That will be a world record. We'll know the exact number a little later on this evening.
Yeah, it's been a labour of love, Jason. It's taken a good 2.5 years in the making this.
Was out, Trevor? Was out, Trevor?
Was out, Trevor?
They
Was
said
good.
faults. Oh. Oh, sorry.
Now 15.
Rafa wants 3 serves now.
We'll be fine. Don't talk trash to my opponent. We'll be
Okay.
fine.
One was here, one was in the net.
Don't worry.
Double fault.
It was the wind. You could hear the wind.
I thought it was a correction on the first
It was
one.
all wind.
It's okay. No, that was good. That was good.
15 all.
That wasn't easy, Bill. I know that pain. Oh!
Out.
Ouch.
Has suddenly got a little more serious in this game from Love 15.
8 to
Yes.
15.
Come on, Trevor.
Oh, maybe the underarm serve.
Come on.
Just a little
okay.
too mustard on that one.
30 all.
What is that?
I don't think anyone was ready.
You kill him. No. Game. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
40-30.
Oh, sometimes less is more.
Not often you get to outfox Federer, is it?
Yes.
I told you he was getting all serious in that service game there. All of a sudden, it's 3
Gabe
apiece.
Nadal Noah 3 games all.
I mean, Bill's not happy. He just can't curb his competitive
Actually,
instincts.
that
on.
Oh, shame. He's got a nice little forehand on him.
Was a lob. Lob.
15
Yeah.
love.
All right, here we go. An ace, Bill.
Out.
Things are going serious now, Trevor.
30 love.
This point, Bill. This one.
On the line. On the line.
Okay.
30-15.
Here we go. Trevor is heating up. I can feel it. About to cramp.
You.
It's a good shot for him, huh?
40-15.
Got a couple of MPs here.
Murciélago spin.
Oh. 40-30.
So do we search for Trevor?
40-30.
All right.
No, it's not 40-30.
Oh, 40.
All right. Right. We can do this.
Big serve.
Wow, Mr. Ref, nothing. 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 The net is going down,
Game
nothing.
Federer. Big.
Nothing. That was a good point.
That was a good point.
Nicely played. How many games? What's going on?
4-3.
4-3? All right. Who's serving me?
You.
All right, it's going to be rough.
Looks clear as 6-4 for us.
Yeah. Hoo-wee.
But we have to.
Ha.
We're going to finish the set. No. We have to finish. Last game?
Oh.
No, it was supposed to be a full set. Can we play a full set? Yeah. A 4-3. We played to 6.
Come on, Trevor.
Fault. Good. Come on.
Yours.
Wow.
Oh, it's been called out down the far end.
Out.
No, he loves the
15.
wind, Ireland boy. I mean, you should have seen it yesterday afternoon at this time, Jason. Wow.
Fault.
The wind. And that guy
Love 30.
I mean, what a shot that is. Cape Town Stadium in all its splendor. I think there was a Table Mountain in the background. Not a cloud in the sky overhead.
Fault.
Trevor's under pressure here.
Nice.
Come on. You. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh, Trevor Noah.
Amazing.
There's some African
15-30.
magic.
It's got Rafa wheels too. Look at him run around that backhand.
Fault.
Rafa looks a little scared there at the net. Quite sure where these serves are going.
Can you switch off the air conditioning?
You. Come on. Yes.
30 all.
Couldn't have wished for a more perfect setting for such a moment in South Africa's tennis history.
Go really close to Rafa. Closer.
Fault.
Little eye formation here. Australian even. Or is that a Cape Town thing?
I think this is ultra eye. This is what that's called.
It's a good shot, Bill.
30-40.
Yeah, the mother city, as Cape Town is affectionately known as. Of course, plenty of great matches were played here in the Cape Town Stadium. The 2010 FIFA.
Fault. Fault.
Oh, that was in! That was Hawkeye. Where's Hawkeye?
How much? Like this, like this.
I
How
feel
much?
like that was in. But let's go. Let's go.
Ooh, just long.
Oh, can you
Federer
imagine
games
playing
this five
against
games
Trevor
three.
Noah in the juniors, Jason?
Oh,
Yeah,
chance to
I
get a
think
W
they
there.
both,
His own
they're
calls.
Come on! Oh, good one!
And then he had the Eddie Shuffle at the end of it.
It's okay. No worries. It's okay. Fine.
Very
15 love.
nicely done.
I mean, you thought he had it, but he didn't. Oh, he's thrown his racket.
That was intense there for a second.
Nice serve.
So a
30
couple of
love.
points away here
Body
from
serve.
a third victory for Federer and Gates.
Come on, this one.
love.
It's okay. We can come back. We can come back.
Oh, match point. Here we go.
Careful, Trevor.
Disaster for Trevor Noah.
Game, set up match. Federer, Gates.
But a lot of fun was had by all, but in the end it's Roger Federer and Bill Gates that remain unbeaten in these matches for Africa doubles. They're 3-0 now, but what a tremendous performance by Trevor Noah. Of course, the stars of the show are very much Rafa Nadal and the one and only Roger Federer.
Yeah, good fun had by all, and a lovely appetizer before the main course.
Congratulations to Team Federer, right?
Federer for social media. So that's our nickname. I know not everybody is familiar with it, but when you're winning the doubles in Match for Africa, and we've won the last two, now last three, you need to start getting it trending on social media. So we're Federer.
Undefeated, so another victory. This is a winning combination. What makes you such a winning combination, Bill?
I think the wind helped a little bit. No double faults.
You were really impressive, taking care of business on your end of things. Not too flashy, just efficient.
Not too flashy. I try to avoid flashy. I let Roger take the flashy ones.
What are your impressions of the celebrity matchup? You know, to have Rafa and Trevor as well. I know it's an extra special one, and the first for Trevor.
Yeah, and I think he did very well, because to come out and play in front of so many people in a field that maybe you're not most comfortable, even though Trevor looked extremely comfortable out here tonight, it's very brave. And can't thank Trevor enough for coming out and doing this. He's the best. That's what I told him at the net as well. Trevor, thank you very much for coming to Cape Town to support the foundation and being here tonight. You're the best. Thank you.
He's not bad at all, because you said you weren't quite sure about his tennis game. He had some wonderful volleys there.
He did have some wonderful volleys. I think the footwork is what I will remember. Couldn't even see the feet, they were so fast. And great forehand, dodgy backhand. Serve was okay, but great sport, well played.
Bill, of course, not your first time that you're here in South Africa. Just last October you were here, along with Melinda, of course, as part of the wonderful work that you do with the Melinda Gates Foundation. Tell us about your visit to the Inkanini Primary School in Khayelitsha and what that's about.
Well, a lot of the work we do in South Africa is to help with HIV and tuberculosis. And so going and meeting the doctors, seeing the patients, understanding why the drugs aren't perfect, how we can make them better. It's inspiring to see the people who do the work in the field. And things have improved in those areas, but there's a lot more to do.
And what do you think about the work that the Roger Federer Foundation does in South Africa?
It's brilliant that he's here. It was great to see his mom, so proud to have him returning to South Africa.
The winning streak continues. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Team Federer. To this evening, a lot of sporting legends as well, and I'm joined by one of them, and that is none other than Jean de Villiers, who is so happy to be here. the match in Africa taking place in your home province, John. Wow.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, you know, to have witnessed four of the greatest people I think that the world has ever seen, two of the best tennis players ever to have gone on a tennis court, Mr. Bill Gates, Trevor Noah, our own Trevor Noah, and Cape Town absolutely showing off today. So it's an unbelievable day. I'm just so proud to be South African. When I saw Roger's mom walk out and just to see the pride to be here tonight.
It's a fantastic night, isn't it? And are you team Nadal or team Federer?
Look, it's for the Roger Federer Foundation, so I think it would be wrong if Roger does not win. So I'll be going for Roger, obviously a South African connection there as well, but Rafa as well, what he brings to it, unbelievable tennis player, unbelievable.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that surely was some fun tennis. Now, while Roger and Rafa are taking a quick break, we're going to be treated to another stunning performance by the Zip Zap Social Circus and, of course, the Ndlovu Youth Choir. They are setting up. Let me tell you a little bit more about them. Zip Zap, this is a Cape Town-based circus that uses the circus arts as a tool for youth development and social transformation. And the Ndlovu Youth Choir, they are based in one of the poorest regions of the country and are ready, of course, to once again enthrall us with their wonderful entertainment. Give it up for the Zip Zap Circus and Ndlovu Youth Choir.
Show strength and courage and fight to fight it all. Run through the challenge and believe in yourself. Don't just believe. Never just yourself. Your truth. When you get to all, you can never lose. When you fly to a higher ground, it's love will be a shining light. Don't let anybody bring you down. You better walk the talk, you better shut the talk, you better be the best you can be. It's a big wide world.
Thank you to the Global Youth Choir and Zip Zap Circus for that beautiful performance. Well, we are warming up for our main match between Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal. Tonight, though, not just about tennis. Remember that all the proceeds from this, the match in Africa, go towards the wonderful work that is being done by the Roger Federer Foundation. And I've got with me up here on stage now the CEO of the Roger Federer Foundation for the last 10 years, Janine Hendel. Janine, a very, very good evening. What a special night.
Well, thank you for having us here. Cape Town, we feel so privileged to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, we're talking about the wonderful work of the Roger Federer Foundation. And, you know, Roger has said that children are, that actual children are tomorrow's future, and that a good education really allows children to take their future into their own hands. I know that's a message you agree with.
Absolutely. We cannot invest enough in our children's life. Children need to be enabled to become responsible, proactive, independent people. So we should actually eradicate poverty in this world. This we can only do through education. Education is such a powerful tool to change people's life in a very sustainable manner.
Well, let's take a look at the wonderful work that Janine and the Roger Federer Foundation does.
When I visit the preschools we support, I see children filled with joy. They are full of eagerness to reach their potential. It is a privilege that through my foundation I can be part of their journey. I started my foundation back in 2003.
1, 2, 3.
It is incredible how much I've learned and how far we have come. Today, we support early education programs in 6 countries in Southern Africa and Switzerland. I strongly believe that a good start in education is crucial to empower children in a sustainable manner. Over 1 million children have benefited from our interventions. This makes me feel elated, yet humbled. There are still millions of children with no access to quality preschool. They need our support. We take it for granted that children have access to play, nutritious meals, learning materials, and good teachers. Unfortunately, many communities lack all of these important elements. My foundation funds programs ensuring these basic conditions. Local stakeholders are the front runners of all initiatives. Parents, community members, or local leaders mobilize and engage for a better quality early education. Our role is to enable and support them wherever we can. As a dad, I experience every day how much energy my kids have and curiosity to discover the world. I remain committed to empower further millions of disadvantaged children to do the same, because children are tomorrow's future.
Well, Janine, as we've seen in that video, your focus is especially on early education.
Absolutely. You know, globally, education is in crisis. And this is mainly because not every child can have a preschool. Actually, in developing country, only 80% of children are out of preschool. And we need to have them in order to have a good start in education. So we are focusing with the foundation in the next 7 years on getting children ready for school and the schools ready for the children.
Tell us about the founding philosophy of the Roger Federer Foundation.
The founding philosophy is really what Roger says. Everybody has the strength, everybody has the power and the ability, and we need to find this strength and enable them to find better solutions for their own problems. Everybody is an expert in their own problems, should be expert and driver of the solution. So this is why we work together with communities, with the parents, with the village, with the governments to enhance the quality of early education, because only together we can really get our children a good start in education.
Tell us how much Roger's involved in the foundation's work and how he is as a boss.
Oh, he's the kindest boss I ever had, and I'm maybe the luckiest CEO in the world, and I guess many of you want to change with me. Someone wants to have the job, so no, but more important, Roger is highly committed, and that's a dream for every CEO. He's highly committed and he is eager to learn and become better. He wants to get out the best out of that foundation.
Tell us how much the funds raised for this, the match in Africa, how much that is going to mean for the students, for the foundation.
No, this evening means a world for this foundation, not only because we have our focus here in Southern Africa and we have this crowd coming here to support us and to share our mission. You all here in the stadium, you are really empower us, and with us you're empowering the children in this region for enhancing the quality of education. For one child it takes $40 or 560 Rand. As little it takes to change a child's life. So I think with this evening we will change thousands of lives.
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for turning out for the match in Africa. Thank you, Janine. Continue the wonderful work. Man, oh man, the Roger Federer Foundation doing such amazing work. All right, everyone, the match officials are getting ready to come in. Roger and Rafa are getting ready as well, and we're just a few minutes away from some spectacular tennis. Speaking of spectacular, Robbie, can you believe that it's been 10 years since we hosted the FIFA World Cup in 2010?
I can't believe it, and what an incredible moment that was for our country, wasn't it? And I'm feeling the sort of energy tonight, the same sort of feeling I had when I was back in 2010 going to some of those games there. It was quite unbelievable. And do you remember the theme song for the World Cup? Well, of course, it was Waka Waka, and to perform their own rendition of that song, let's welcome back the Ndlovu Youth Choir and the Zip Zap Circus.
Over.
A player the likes of which has never been seen before in the world of tennis. A champion with more than 1,200 victories over a career spanning 22 years. He has 103 singles titles, a record 20 Grand Slam titles, and 6 ATP World Tour final wins. He's an Olympic gold medalist and has won an incredible 16 consecutive fan favorite awards from the ATP Tour. He's the Swiss maestro, the Federer Express, the most loved player in the game. Please welcome Roger Federer.
Well, Roger, this is the sixth edition of the Match for Africa. It is now the Match in Africa. Why is this an event that is so important for you?
Well, it's for a great cause. I started the foundation when I was 22 years old. I was very young. I wanted to learn, and I was always very shy to do events and shout about maybe what I do in my philanthropic efforts. So when we started Match for Africa, #1 in Zurich in Switzerland over 10 years ago with Rafa actually, I thought, okay, let's give it a go. In life, sometimes you have to take chances. You hope it sells out. You hope it goes well, and it was a great success. I went to Madrid the following day and helped his foundation. And here we are, #6 in Cape Town in a stadium like this, and being able to connect with Bill and Trevor and Rafa and doing it all together, it's an amazing achievement. I've played some exhibitions around the world in tiny, tiny stadiums, raising a little bit of money for maybe a local tennis club, and here we are making a real difference in children's lives. So as you can imagine, this match in Africa, finally in Africa, I'm sorry it took so long, means the world to me. So thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate it. I will never forget it.
You know, we heard from Janine about just how hands-on you are when it comes to the work of your foundation. I know that you've just come back from Namibia. Mm-hmm. How do you find time to be so hands-on?
All a matter of priorities, and it's my passion. Namibia, what a great country that is as well. I got to go back and visit. My kids are 5 and 10 now. I think they're getting old enough to do some long trips in cars or journeys around big countries, and I haven't been here to South Africa yet. I was almost going to take them, but you know, Australia was just not long ago. We're going to go to America in a bit of time, but it's all a matter of priorities, you know. And I love what I do, and it was a great trip. It was a successful trip. And of course, it's inspiring and motivating to keep on going, talk to people who can really make a difference and have an impact, and that's what it's about for me. So I'm going to do more. This is only the beginning of my philanthropic work in the future. I'm still playing, so my priority is tennis. I hope I can still play for a bit longer. We'll see how much more, but there's so much more to look forward to.
You spoke about how this is nothing new for yourself and Rafa. You constantly are collaborating for charitable causes, like 3 weeks ago when you joined forces to raise funds for the victims of the bushfires in Australia. Today, playing tennis against each other again for a great cause. Are you friends or rivals? Can you be both?
I think so. I really do. He's a great person. Has great values. He's got a great family. My family, his family, we respect each other immensely. He told me today that he cried when I won my French Open in '09. He was so happy for me. So, I mean, it's a great rivalry. I know he only knows his career with me on the court. I knew a few years without him, which was nice because there was no Rafa, which made things maybe a little bit easier, but then there was Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi, and he's been wonderful for the game. He's promoted this sport in the best possible way. He's got a huge fan base, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are Rafa fans, and he deserves everything and all the praise he deserves, and he's a great person. So to get together and do things for a good cause, it's only but normal, I think, for both of us.
You know, Rafa has been chasing your historic record of 20 Grand Slam wins for a while now, but he fell just a little bit short, didn't quite get there at the Australian Open. He still sits at 19 slams. Do you think that that's built that extra bit of fire in the belly for tonight's matchup?
Well, the good thing about tonight is, like, he cannot catch me, so I'm very relaxed. But no, honestly, what he has achieved in his career, or Novak for that matter, what he's done, myself as well, I think we are also very happy with a career that exceeded all our expectations. In my dreams, I never dreamed this far. I hope to win one Wimbledon, and I did more, so if he catches me, it's okay.
Well, let's bring him out. Roger, let's bring out Rafa Nadal and see how he feels.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's a legend in his own lifetime. The player with the best career performance win index. He comes from Manacor, Mallorca, Spain, and has conquered the world of tennis with a total of 84 career titles and 19 Grand Slam singles titles. He has won 5 Davis Cups for Spain. He's a 2-time Olympic champion and Roger's greatest rival. Please welcome the master of spin, El Toro Mura, the king of clay, and the current official ATP world #2, Rafa Nadal.
Rafa, first of all, welcome back. And I think we all want to know how your couple of days in South Africa has been so far. You've been having a good time?
Well, it has been an amazing experience. No, since I arrived here, have been intense. Have been a lot of great moments, sharing with great people this afternoon. Staying with the kids here have been an unforgettable experience. No, they are so sweet. We had a lot of fun, I think, Roger, and I think the kids too. So have been an express visit. I really hope that in the future I'm going to have plenty of time to know much better the country. That's something that I really would like to do. But for the couple of days that I have been here, have been an unforgettable lifetime experience.
Well, of course, last time you were here, you had a fantastic experience with Spain going all the way. But I remember seeing you coming to South Africa as a youngster as well.
Yeah, I have been playing the finals of the Nike Junior Tour in, I don't know, a very long time ago. But I have been twice in Sun City playing there and having fun. No? And I have been later here watching the final of the World Cup that Spain won for the unique time in our history, and every time that I have been here have been in a very positive way. No, and this time is it's unforgettable. No, I was speaking with Roger now in the locker room. No, it's just an unforgettable evening. We probably maybe we will never play again in such an atmosphere like this one. So I can't thank enough all of you guys. That makes this evening unforgettable.
Well, thanks for coming out here. Thank you so much. One final question, Rafa. We know that you have a foundation in Spain empowering disadvantaged kids there. So I guess you have a lot in common with that guy on the other side of the court. What made you focus on that area for your foundation?
Well, I think it's just about giving back in some way, and creating positive examples for the other people. I think we have been a very lucky people to have a great life, but in the world there is a lot of people that suffers a lot, and for me personally, I always love being with young people, with kids, and we take care of the kids with risk of social exclusion. We have a project in India, and especially now we are focused a little bit more focused in Spain. But we work on try to give them opportunities through the sport, in this case through tennis, and we work hard just to increase the number of young kids that we can help year by year. And I think being together for these good causes, we can achieve big things like tonight's. I think Roger's foundation is achieving here. So for me, it's super happy to share this great moment with him. Thanks to Roger for thinking that I am the right one to be part of this unforgettable event, and just gonna try to have fun and to create the show that everybody expects.
Well, you guys have provided with us so many shows throughout the course of your careers. Go out and have a good one tonight, and make sure you bring out the vamos.
Of course. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the court your officials for tonight's main match, led by umpire George Piri.
It is time to get of the main match underway. And tonight, come closer. Tonight, we are going to be using a very special coin. Roger, please show it to us. Now, this is an official commemorative 20 Swiss franc coin issued by the Swiss Mint. It's engraved with an image of Roger, and it makes him the first living Swiss to be honored with his own coin. And you can bet that after tonight, it's going to be worth far more than 20 francs now.
When I play in South Africa, it's really an awesome thing, and I hope it inspires a lot of people to come here and do this, because we've got beautiful facilities like this, and we can fill up the stadium, which is amazing.
When you talk about great things that we can do as a country, last year, man, what a high. You went out to Japan with your team and you came back with an extra bit of silverware, world champions. So when it comes to your rugby skills, you and your team, it's unrivaled. We know what it is that you can do. But what is your tennis game like?
Nothing, zero. Ayiko. No, I can't play it all, but I love watching. Trevor is definitely better than I am. But yeah, I really enjoy watching, and I think everybody's going to enjoy it too. The guys are really excited. I was talking to them in the changing room. So yeah, you guys are going to have an awesome show, and I'm just grateful to be here and yeah, and supporting Roger. And you know, obviously the message was really amazing for us as a team. We mean to get a guy like him. Obviously, we support him because he's got a little bit of South African pride in him, which is amazing.
I know that you're also very, very inspired when you see this wonderful work that the Roger Federer Foundation is doing here in Southern Africa. You know, just the philanthropy, the fact that he's got such a charitable heart and doesn't forget his roots.
Yeah, I think that's huge. You know, I gotta thank his mother for that. You know, she's from here, and I got a huge honor of sitting with them at dinner and listening to him speak and Rafa speak and Mr. Bill Gates speak, and you know, it's just a different thing, a different thing, a way to sing life. You know, we just wanna work hard and win trophies, but his thing, what he said, what I picked up yesterday, is he wants to make more impact after his tennis career. You know, he wants to change lives and help as many people as he can.
Team Federer or Team Nadal?
3 minutes.
Team Roger. I love you, Nadal, but Team Roger.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our Springbok captain, Siya Kolisi.
What an evening this is turning out to be. Welcome along as we continue our live coverage of the 6th match for Africa, the very first match in Africa from this magnificent stadium in Cape Town on South Africa's southwest coast beneath the stunning vista that is Table Mountain. It's Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal now that will do battle in the main event this evening. Jason Goodall alongside Robbie Koenig, so Zambia and South Africa very well represented in the commentary booth here this evening. Both of us know only too well how stunning this part of the world is and how crucial it is that Roger continues his much needed work with his foundation, which of course focuses on child education in Zambia, Malawi, Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and of course here in South Africa. Federer, Rory, looks very, very nice in that Springbok outfit.
Doesn't he just? What a nice touch, of course, so symbolic, because I remember when we won the World Cup in '95 for the first time, Nelson Mandela walked out with the Springbok jersey on, and it's got a lot of significance in uniting the country, Jason. So a lovely move there by Siya, and of course Roger.
You've been courtside. What are the conditions like out there for this singles match here?
Yeah, there's a little bit of breeze around. I always think that favours Nadal, given that he's grown up on an island, playing in Mallorca. It's always breezy there. And he's been one of the best win players in the history of the sport. But I think Federer's going to get a lot of support out here tonight.
Let's not forget, if you want an opportunity to help the Roger Federer Foundation, you can do so by donating at matchinafrica.com/donate. So that's matchinafrica.com/donate.
Roger
All
Federer
the proceeds this evening going to the Roger Federer Foundation. Federer just a little older than Nadal now, and they've obviously got 39 major titles between them. Federer with his nose out in front with 20 of those, but Rafa doing his level best to try and catch up.
He's getting close, isn't he? Looming large in that rear view mirror. There's nothing between them, even the current ATP ranking just at 1 apart.
And this, the 41st meeting between the two. Surely this will count towards the overall head-to-head record?
Well, I think it depends who wins, right?
So we're all set. Best of 3 tie-break sets. Federer and Bill Gates getting a win in the doubles over Rafa and Trevor Noah, 6-3. It'll be Rafa to get this singles encounter underway.
Point.
That's a nice positive start. Of course, we're using Hawkeye technology, so no officials on this magnificent court.
Yeah, Hawkeye Live, I think, here is the actual terminology. And as soon as the ball bounces out, folks, within 0.3 of a second, the signal gets sent to the chair umpire, or you can just hear the call of out.
It does look a little like a clay court, but it's very much a hard court, playing medium paced. Roger went down to Namibia on his way down to South Africa, spent a day there just looking at all of the good work that his foundation has done in that particular country. Rafa came down to Cape Town yesterday and they spent the morning at one of the local schools. A real treat for the kids there. And again, keeping an eye out on all of the good work that the Roger Federer Foundation does here.
Yes, this is a shot he can hit in his sleep, even with the conditions windy court side. Plays it with such good margin for error.
Nice.
I was just going to say, Jess, it doesn't matter what colour the court is, he is so good at executing this pattern of play.
That's the little short volleys, works well here. It's court's laid on boards, a rough-ish top surface, so it will take spin. Trim on the match shirt and the match shorts there, Federer, especially made for this event.
Yeah, you can see it on the collar there, the colours of the Rainbow Nation, which South African flag is known as. We are known as the Rainbow Nation, the Rainbow flag.
His mother Lynette grew up in Joburg. She's a really good sportswoman. So nice to hear from Lynette earlier when you were chatting to her, Robbie, as to how much this evening means to her.
Oh, it really does, and she is in the green, just sitting behind us here. Khaleesi, Rob, her husband, on the left. Yeah, and you know what it's like, Jace. When Africa's in your blood, you never get rid of it, and that's why they love coming down here. They are big fans of going on safari. Both love their golf.
That's a very positive start for Federer with the early break. What does it mean to South Africa and Cape Town that the very first match in Africa is here this evening.
Well, just to give you an idea of the magnitude of it, when tickets were announced that they were going on sale, this event was oversubscribed 4.5 times. We've got 50,000 people here, so do the maths and you get an idea of the kind of effect, the global effect that these guys have.
Oh, that's nice. Roger was telling us earlier that this match really was sort of 3 years in the making. He's been working so hard to try and get both of the players' diaries aligned, but he wanted it to be very, very special, so he was prepared to wait for this to happen.
Yeah, the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes for an event like this. I know firsthand, of course, our good friend John Lafney Diaga and Holger Losch have been so instrumental. Oh, that's nice. Oh, it's getting pretty breezy down courtside. It really has picked up.
If you're a South African, or if you've been lucky enough to play tennis down here, you'll be well aware of that fact. Head down the garden route, just gets windier and windier with each stop, doesn't it?
How often have we seen him make little pickups like that throughout the course of his career? And you're 100% right. Any player that's played in Port Elizabeth or East London will tell you it's right up there with the windiest places they've ever played at. Wellington, New Zealand, that's right up there too, Jace. Don't have tour events there anymore, but tell you what, people who live there too long walk with a slight slant.
So Federer with a nice comfortable hold. Leads 2-love in this opening set. Of course, Rafa was speaking earlier about his foundation, the Rafa Nadal Foundation. Created it with his mother back in 2008. Works with disadvantaged children in Spain and India. So nice that these two have got together and both work in that particular area of trying to help children less fortunate than themselves. And nice that we've almost come full circle, Robbie. These two took part in the very first match for Africa. It was kind of a 2-day affair, wasn't it? The initial match took place in Zurich in Switzerland in 2010, and then they played in Madrid a couple of days later. So they've always been very much hand in hand.
Yeah, Rogers hosted the likes of Andy Murray and Stan Wawrinka in Zurich, John Isner in Seattle. I think that's the first time Bill Gates came on board, and then last year in San Jose it was Jack Sock.
All the time he had this vision of wanting to come back here to Africa and do something very special. It's been very much a homecoming of sorts for Federer here in the last couple of days. The welcome that both players received here was incredible. We don't know the official attendance yet, but we're hoping for a world record. An official world record, 42,517, set tail end of last year in the Plaza del Toros in Mexico City when Federer and Alexander Zverev played next so there. And we're hoping for 50,000 plus here this evening. So an early break for Federer, and he leads 2-1 in this opening set.
Off the ground. That's vintage Roger right there. Yeah, so of course this doubles up as both a soccer field and a rugby field, so they had to come up with the sort of innovation where it didn't look too small, so that's why the surrounds of the court are so nice and big. And then make sure that the visuals worked for the people immediately around the court, and those black boxes there, the VIPs. And then, of course, everybody around the stadium. So the court didn't feel too small. And they've done an excellent job. Detail and everything. The back of the chairs, the front of the chairs with the players' logos.
And the colour of the court too just reminds me of one of those dirt roads when you head out on safari in the very heart of Africa. So Federer with the hole leads 3-1. Did have problems with his back, didn't he, in the Australian Open, but saying earlier this week that he's recovered pretty well. Seems to be moving pretty well too. Difficult conditions out there. It's very, very windy now. It wasn't up until about sort of 6 o'clock local time. Pretty much as soon as they took to the doubles court, the wind really started to whip up. Nadal coming off the loss to Team in Melbourne. What did you make of the Australian Open as far as these two were concerned?
Well, for me, I've never seen Roger struggle through a draw like he did. I mean, so many close matches. How he got out of jail against John Millman, only the good Lord knows. And then tennis Sangren a couple of days later. Are you kidding me?
It's almost like they need to turn the machine off on a shot like that. No call. Roger makes the pass.
Yes. You can hear how quickly the call comes from Hawkeye Live.
It's like a semi-saber, that one. And what about Rafa's Aussie Open?
I mean, that match against Dominic Thiem, that was a war of attrition. And you just get the feeling that Thiem is getting a little closer to these guys, and especially on a hard court. I thought that was what was so impressive, because to beat Nadal pretty much at his own game. Nadal doesn't like to lose those kind of matches, you know, 9 times out of 10. When it's a slugfest, he comes out on top. So I think you'd have been been a little disappointed leaving Melbourne.
So it's 3-2 in this opening set. That little smile between the two there, the change of ends, means that they're obviously enjoying themselves out there. And despite all that they've achieved in their careers, Robbie, how special an evening will this be for these two?
Yeah, I was just thinking about it there for a second. It's with someone who's been such an intimate part of your career, it's phenomenal to be able to share moments like this. There's no other players almost that I can think of in the history of the sport that have had this kind of rivalry yet have remained such good friends away from the match court.
Oh, nice. Lovely hands there.
That's a bit naughty, isn't it? Oh, yes, please. There's Roger waving his Wilson wand, as he so often does.
Federer flair there.
4 games to 2.
I mean, the timing on that shot, especially given the blustery conditions down courtside.
Just holding up in the wind there, getting to a big stadium like this, and it does tend to really swirl. All kids are working hard too. They're running up and down those ramps so the players don't see them at all during the rally. That's a lovely injection of pace from Nadal there, not messing around in this service game.
This takes a couple of games just to get used to the wind direction. I mean, he is so good with that first strike. Look at that precision with which that shot is placed.
You thought that lob was just going to float long.
Yeah, right on the line. No out call from Hawkeye Live.
That's a lovely little volley. So good at that little sneak into the net. Federer's got the better of the early exchanges in this opening set, and he's a break to the good at 4-3.
We're going to be chatting to the one and only Roger Federer. I bet a lot of people wonder, when you've played Rafa Nadal so many times and you play him in an exhibition like this, is there something new that he does that surprises you?
Not really. I feel like I know everything, but I still sometimes can't crack the code, so he's that good. But no, of course, he tries trick shots through the legs. They don't work. And so you better go back to basics if he wants to come back in this match.
Who's better at the trick shots between the two of you? Is it a Federer game or is it a Nadal game? Who's better at the trick shots? Just pure trick shots.
Okay, so probably people think because I have a one-handed backhand and all this stuff, I'm probably better at trick shots, and I had a good one at the US Open once upon a time. But this guy is very good. And that's why I'm not saying I'm better than him. I think we're actually equal. Maybe he's even better. He's very good at trick shots.
Time. All right, well, there you have it. Roger Federer. 4-3 right now. Back into the game.
So Federer serving with the new balls here as he looks to extend this slender lead in the opening set, 4-3. Proceeds this evening going to the Roger Federer Foundation. You can help the cause by going to matchinafrica.com/donate. I spoke to a few of the locals this morning, Robbie, and they were hoping that an event like this could inspire a lot of people to take up the game as youngsters. What's this current state of South African tennis?
It's actually not bad, considering, Jason. Of course, we've got Kevin Anderson and Lloyd Harris flying the flag inside the top 100. Kevin's just bouncing back from injury. Got a couple of decent juniors coming through. It's going to always be a challenge financially, coming from this part of the world, having to travel to Europe or the States on the rand. It's expensive.
What's the structure like for budding professionals in terms of tournaments that they can play in this region?
Yeah, they're actually doing a better job of getting smaller tournaments for the juniors, like the ITF events. We've got the African Championships coming up next week, actually. That's the junior one. And we've got a couple, I want to say it's up in Johannesburg, AJCs. And then we've got a future and a challenger in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, things are trending in the right direction.
perhaps a little fortunate there. Lloyd Harris got off to a great start this season, didn't he? Really enjoyed watching him play in Australia.
And I think he was lighting it up in Adelaide. You were there. You saw him firsthand, didn't you?
Got a lot of experience in the ATP Cup, playing alongside Kevin. A couple of good performances there, and then, yeah, really did well in Adelaide, qualified. Hopefully he can build on that. I think he made semis in the end, didn't he, in Adelaide? Or even final. Selling him short, and then he was out here with Roger yesterday, just warming him up on this very court, so tremendous experience there. Oof, just.
Yeah, that one just holding up in the wind enough to get a piece of the line. Stop it. Roger giving Rafa the runaround.
Game Federer. Federer leads 5 games to 3.
I'm having to deal with all kinds of wind here.
It's a lovely shot. Federer not quite doing enough with the topspin backhand there.
Yeah, when he's got a bit of time, if he starts to hit this forehand down the line well, you know, he's starting to feel the ball a little bit better. But again, you can see how much wind action there is on that, just blowing it in. How good's that?
But we're not quite believing the quality that we saw from Nadal there. A couple of no looks.
Yeah, times 2.
Federer's like, what was that, dude? Wonderful example of the magnificent feel that these two have on the ball. Gave that smash the full Monty there.
Didn't he just? Such a good overhead, this guy.
It's magnificent stuff from Nadal. And it's Federer who holds the advantage at the tail end of this opening set. He'll now have an opportunity to serve it out at 5-4. Not too many spare seats in the house, just a few behind the stack of the main camera behind the court, the lower half of that picture, and then just 3 or 4 rows around the very foot of the stadium, elsewhere packed to the rafters.
And of course, that's done for a specific reason, so that the fans can have the best view of the court. If those seats were occupied below, trust me, we could sell it out a couple of times, Jason, so that they can see over the VIPs onto the court.
There've been plenty of those. Let's hope there's more to come from these two. Federer attempting to serve out this opening set. Vintage Federer, 3 set points.
Out. 40-15.
That's lovely serve, and that early break was enough as far as Federer was concerned. And wraps up the opening set here, 6-4. Federer with the 20 major titles, Robbie. What are the chances of him adding to that tally?
My heart says it's not going to happen. Sorry, my head says it's not going to happen. My heart says I would love for it to happen, but I just think Wimbledon is going to be a bit of a tipping point for him. I think after what happened there's going to be a lot of scarring, mental scarring. But if there is one tournament where he's got a decent shot of adding to that major haul, it has to be SW19. Your club, right?
Yeah, do you think if he'd won there last year, that would have given him a better chance of further adding to that number?
That's a great question, but I think that's exactly what 2017 Australian Open did for him. Because it had been a while before he'd won. Of course, he wins that one against you-know-who and goes on to win another 2 soon thereafter. And yeah, I did think it was a little bit of a shot in the arm for him. And I think the same way the loss at Wimbledon last year might be the one that just tips him over the edge.
A bucket list evening for the vast majority of those lucky enough to be here in person this evening. The opportunity to see the great Roger Federer in person. You see so many of those and you get to talk to them throughout the year at the majors, and you'll ask them who they're here to see and they'll just say, vast majority of the time, Roger Federer. I just want to see him once live in person. What is it about catching these guys live that makes it so special?
You can't believe the athleticism, the pace at which the tennis gets played. It's almost a different sport to what we play. Spins. And what you really realise is when you're down courtside and you're watching them live is how much goes on at the end of their range. So often it's not just comfortable. And what they can do at the end of their range is what's so jaw-dropping.
It's viewing it from a very different vantage point, isn't it? You can pick up so many different nuances that you don't, or it's very difficult to pick up on TV. So Nadal with the hold to lead 1-love in this second set. What is it about Nadal's game in particular that has troubled Federer down the years, and what changes to his game has he been forced to make as a result?
Yeah, well, it's his forehand in particular that's really peppered Roger's backhand and broken it down over the years. It really has been his kryptonite, hasn't it? That's the best way of describing it. It's that single shot, and it's the relentlessness of it. Gets it up high to Roger's backhand, and if Roger's a little off, he drops it short, game over. Vintage, and that's a shot that I think has improved over the years for Rafa. Never used to be a weapon, it certainly is now, that backhand of his. And the other thing, Jason, is the ability to defend so well against Federer, because that's the tough part. You're under constant pressure, and as we know, Nadal is one of the best defenders our sport has ever seen.
Is there anything in Federer's game that has forced Nadal to improve over the years?
I think he's forced him to become. Boy, has he done it well.
15-40.
And you know, that's the thing about these two players. They're constantly evolving, aren't they? Even, you know, last couple of years, Roger changing his racket, getting a wider beam.
gets a little loose. Costs Federer his service game. So Nadal with the early break here.
You've commentated on a lot of their matches throughout the course of the years. Any standouts for you, Jason?
Did you say the vast majority of them are standouts? Yeah, I mean, I think the one that stands out above all of the others is that epic Wimbledon final. Strokes of genius was made about it, wasn't it? Where Rafa managed to get his hands on the trophy there, 9-7 in the deciding set. It doesn't get any better than that as far as I'm concerned when you take into account the magnitude of the moment. The ebbs and flows of the match, the fact that it was getting dark and there was so little time at the end of it to come to a conclusion. It had everything.
Yeah, it had a rain interruption as well, didn't it? Towards the tail end of the match, early stages of the fifth set. Tony Nadal tells a lovely story in that Strokes of Genius. He was panicking. I mean, I don't know if you remember the backhand passing shot that Federer hit to save match
do I ever?
point. He thought his nephew had lost the opportunity to win Wimbledon. Federer was going to deny him yet again.
Quite time that return, hence the apology.
Yeah, and of course with the rain break, go back into the locker room. He didn't know what he was going to say. He was panicking, and he's always got something to say to Rafa. When Rafa walked into the locker room, he could see the angst in his uncle's eyes. And he said to him, "I've got this. Don't worry about it. I've got this. Whatever happens, I will not lose to Roger Federer. He might beat me, but I will not lose to him."
What a great attitude that is to have in any sporting arena. So it's 2-1 now in the second set. What about you, Robbie? What's your special encounter as far as these two are concerned?
Well, 2017 Australian Open was right up there for me. Simply because this guy had made the changes to his game and he looked like he was getting back to his best. And then in that deciding fifth set, I just thought, Nadal's got him again. Went up 3-1 in the fifth, and Federer wins 5 straight games in a row. I mean, that just never happened against Rafa. Never a run like that, especially in a match of that magnitude, Jason. That's what struck me.
And especially when you consider where Federer had come from earlier in the tournament, struggling in the opening matches, hadn't played for 6 months. I mean, incredible to be able to turn that around. That's probably number 2 for me, behind the Wimbledon final. We're enjoying our live coverage of the match in Africa from Cape Town in South Africa. Roger Federer taking on Rafa Nadal after a bit of fun doubles featuring Trevor Noah and Bill Gates. All the proceeds this evening going to the Roger Federer Foundation. It's the 6th match for Africa, dating back to 2010. Federer's been doing a really good job over the years of continuing to add to the coffers of his foundation. Well over $50 million been raised over that time. not quite. Much of that money has been spent on over 1.5 million children benefiting in Central and Southern Africa. Does a little bit of work in Switzerland as well, but most of it on this continent.
There's that great 1-2 punch. You can see the movement there with the wind. Just getting the ball to ride it.
It's a little cheap. Commit to that. +3 conditions, perhaps just held in the wind at the last second. No chance for Nadal here. It's nicely done.
I just had a decent look at that after the ball clipped the top of the net.
Oh, lovely shot.
There's the vamos. Yeah, they've been converted.
Not the first and certainly not the last. And again, the wind playing havoc early on in that rally. Nadal with a break to lead 3-1. Federer with the opening set, 6-4.
Yeah, of course, Roger was in Namibia just a couple of days ago. Met with the president, I think, of the country.
One of half a dozen countries on this continent, and he does really good work in. Others include Zambia, Malawi, Botswana, Zimbabwe. Of course, here in South Africa, does a little bit of work in Switzerland as well. It's primarily with primary schools and preschools. As the Zambian under-12 champion, I know only too well how important it is.
Those are the good old days.
Yeah, certainly were. Spent Christmas Day in Cape Town for the very first time in 1976. We were on holiday from Zambia. Got my first graphite tennis racket as a Christmas present.
Wow.
Fell in love with the game in Zambia, so I know what tennis in Africa is all about. And you're a Durban boy?
I am. So we were one of the strongest provinces when I was growing up. So many good players came out of there, multiple Grand Slam champions, and Kevin Elliott and Ellis Ferreira, and of course Kevin Curran is here this evening. Kevin's a Durban boy. In fact, Gary Muller, do you remember that name?
Do indeed.
Yeah, Gary as well. Spent a fair bit of time here in Durban. Other names during that same era, Neville Godwin, who coaches on the tour. Neville, of course, from Joburg, but so many good players to play against week in and week out, to practice with. And I think that's one of the reasons that we were a successful era. Everybody traveling and practicing together.
That's the familiar 1-2 from Nadal. And Nadal is doing very well in this second set now after a sluggish start in the opener.
Quickly he skips around that backhand to hit his beloved forehand.
See, and that's the key for me in terms of talking about the improvement that Federer made when he used to continually go with the slice backhand and allowed Nadal to run around it, gave him a bit of additional time, and he could hurt Federer with the forehand and force him to play defense. But as soon as he started coming over that backhand more, being more aggressive, particularly with the return of serve, and that allowed him to have a better opportunity to regain the offensive within the rally. Brad Gilbert often refers to players that run around their backhand hit forehands as getting on their unicycle, so it's very apt timing there.
Time.
Not sure it will be a great fit.
Definitely not. I can see you in a pair of those trousers now.
And you have.
Federer with a fair bit of work to be done in this second set. You mentioned earlier the improvements that these guys have been forced to make given the greatness in Federer, Nadal and Djokovic within this era. What improvements, if any, can Federer make from here on in to add to his Grand Slam tally?
Oh, yes. I don't know, Jason. I think the biggest thing for Roger is to try and stay healthy. Now at this stage in his career, we saw that injury severely hampered him at the latter stages in Australia.
Same at the US Open last season as well, wasn't it? Also Dimitrov, 5 sets, had problems there. The season before, struggled physically against Millman in New York as well.
Yeah, it was the humidity that day, wasn't it? Okay, I think we've got a substitution here.
Oh, put me in, coach. Okay. This is the moment she's been dreaming of. And who's this dude? She went with the slider. That slice forehand looks familiar.
It does. I think it might be a Koenig out there on the court.
Is that Lukey?
was big down the line, and oh, where's the footwork to catch up to that one?
That's good serving. Federer inspired. What a great moment it is for all of the ball kids here to get this close to living legends.
Yeah, a lot of them have been selected. In fact, most of them have been selected. Depends on your ranking, your age. And,
or who you know.
Yeah, and to try and inspire them to play tennis full-time, take it up seriously. I mean, if this doesn't inspire you, I don't know what will.
We've all done a little bit of that in our past. I remember ball boying for a Davis Cup tie for the very first time when I was 12. Federer, of course, was a ball boy in Basel, wasn't he? He's managed to win that tournament on less than 10 separate occasions since. So it's always one of your very first tastes of pro tennis. It is a real inspiration. Nadal with a 4-2 lead in this second set. Remember, best of 3. Federer and Bill Gates with a win in the doubles against Rafa and Trevor Noah.
Decent look at that. He knows it. Should have made it.
We talked about the possibility of Federer adding to his tally. What about Nadal at 19?
Oh, definitely.
No hesitation then?
Yeah, because Roland Garros stands out for me as the one place where it's so difficult to beat. I've seen it time and time again. 12 French Opens. I mean, how many French Opens has he cost Federer? 4 or 5 at least?
Do you think teams run in Melbourne gives him a better chance of upsetting the apple cart in Paris?
Definitely. I think it'll grow the belief, Jason, that he can now do it on the biggest of stages. Of course, doing it on a clay court will still cause some doubt, but he is right there now.
This is Nadal as far as this second set is concerned. He's a game away from wrapping it up and taking us into a decider.
Come on, Cape Town, make some noise for Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal, match in Africa. 50,000 people in attendance. Rafa, this looks like one of those classic matches where you come back 5 games to 2. What are you thinking at this stage in the match?
Try to win the next game, if not myself.
Now, Roger's been playing a few interesting, shots there. The ball seems like it's lively tonight. There's a lot of wind playing here. Is it changing how you play the ball back to him?
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult, honestly. Here in the middle, the wind is going everywhere, and it's difficult to have a good control of the ball, but we're trying hard. And I don't know. That's tennis. Sometimes the conditions are better, sometimes the conditions are worse, but in every single moment you have to try your best, and that's what we are trying. We have been enjoying a lot during the whole match.
every time that I'm here, sitting in every changeover, I see this picture, and it's just, you know, it's unforgettable for me. You know, just super happy to be here, and thank you everyone again. And I hope to be ready to play some good tennis now.
Well, there you have it. Rafael Nadal up 5-2 in the second set, people.
Time.
Oh, yes.
And the sound it made coming off the strings. I mean, it wasn't that far away from Federer, it just still beating him for pace. Right back at you. They'll come from far and wide.
Federer just trying to be a little cheeky there. It's a little bit of disguise on the drop shot there.
You can't see it coming, can you? The difference between him hitting that shot and just punching it deep. It's just the thickness of the contact.
Whatever you can do. Backhand has got such good variation now. You can also use the little drop shot, the slice backhand. It's become a much improved shot over the years, but then it's that injection of pace cross court that does a lot of damage.
Just feeling he should have done a bit better with the return, kept it lower.
Remember with the hold, but it'll be Nadal now with an opportunity to take us into a deciding set.
15 love.
You can see Federer playing with the wind at his back. That one onto Nadal so quickly.
It's a couple of errors off the backhand in this game.
Almost got out of jail there, did Federer. Guessed right. They'll ever ready in the forecourt.
Here's Nadal, set point. So Nadal takes the second set and will head into a decider.
Yes, of course, a famous lady who got a ticket to the match. There was an article about her in the newspaper, actually, Jason. That's a big Nadal fan, actually, and has been trying for months and months to get a ticket, but only got it very last minute through somebody within the organization here to read her story, and she's here. Well, a fair few unforced errors from both players. That's always going to be.
Mention those.
I know, it's always going to be something that we see a fair bit of in the wind. What to play for now?
Time.
So we're all set for the decider here. This match in Africa, a very special moment for the Federer family. Roger's mother, Lynette, earlier today was telling us how much she was looking forward to it. And the fact that she hopes South Africans are proud of Roger's roots. Of course, she being South African and all of his achievements throughout the course of his career. His desire always to try and give back to this continent. The Roger Federer Foundation doing an excellent job of helping children, particularly those in primary schools and preschools in Central and Southern Africa, the likes of Zambia, Malawi, Namibia, Botswana and Zimbabwe, as well as, of course, here in South Africa, all benefiting.
Time.
Still fairly breezy out there. It does get a little cooler in the evening at this time of the year in Cape Town as well. The breeze coming off the ocean. And it'll be Federer to get this deciding set underway. Oh, he almost sold him on that little slice back in there. That was wonderful.
15 all.
And they both know it, don't they? That's the beauty of it.
That's a wonderful little exchange there. Great rivals and perhaps even greater friends. Lovely feel.
He's got such good feel off that side, isn't he? Do anything he wants with that shot. Remember, Nadal is predominantly right-handed, folks, so he's got so much control on the backhand.
Yeah, I've tried to take a leaf out of Uncle Tony's book. I keep popping a racket in my little boy Garrett's left. Didn't miss by much. It was a lovely little backhand from Federer. And Federer with a 1-love lead in this third set. We're talking about their friendship and, of course, their great rivalry. There's the Springbok captain. I don't know what happened with that rule change in the final of the World Cup there, with every scrum giving you guys 3 points. I wasn't aware of that before the final.
Yeah, of course, those are the kind of cheers when you have an Englishman sitting alongside you, folks.
It's Roger's parents and, of course, Mirka as well.
I know, a man very instrumental in making this happen. Roger's agent, top right, Tony Godsick. He's the one who schedules Roger's calendar.
Just thinking about this great rivalry that we've enjoyed over the years, Roger and Rafa, and where you thought it sat in the greatest sporting rivalries of all time between individual sportsmen or women.
That's a good question. I mean, for me growing up, Mac and Borg was the rivalry together with Chrissy and Martina in this sport. It's only later when you actually look back, and John and Bjorn hardly played that much, Jason.
No, with Borg retiring so early, it was such a shame, wasn't it? And John McEnroe will often say that it was one of the most difficult things for him to deal with in his career, the fact that his greatest rival, who he became very good friends with, quit so early. Of course, we talked about strokes of genius, didn't we? The TV program that was made about the Wimbledon final between these two. What about Fire and Ice? Borg and McEnroe.
Yes.
Such a good program there.
Good storytelling going on there.
And in Chrissy and Martina, I mean, they played 80 times throughout the course of their career, 18 majors each. Amazing that they would finish with the same number of singles major titles, and now, of course, they're such good friends as well, so that's another wonderful rivalry. You had the nice contrast in styles, different personalities. You need all of those ingredients for a great rivalry. That's Federer with the early break in this deciding set. 2-love is the lead now. What about rivalries, perhaps, from other sports? I mean, you think about classics like Ali and Frazier.
Yeah, Hagler-Hearns.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was right up there for me.
You're talking about individuals within teams. When I was growing up, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Lakers and Celtics, that was such a great rivalry for all the same reasons. The look was so different, styles are so different. Any golfing ones? You're a golfer?
I was just thinking perhaps, you know, our athlete of the century here in South Africa, Gary Player, 9 majors, right? And he had some epic battles with the likes of Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer. Ernie Els and Tiger Woods certainly on in the early days, and then it became a lot more one-sided. Probably not in the same category as the ones we've mentioned, but certainly from a South African point of view. Oh, no call, Jason.
Yes, perfect little lob there. Somebody's got a very nice souvenir of the evening. Just caught the back edge. Yeah, you talk about Tiger Woods and Ernie Els in the beginning of that relationship and their rivalry. That's the beauty of this, isn't it? It's gone on so long, and they continue to have such great, meaningful matches.
Yeah.
They've shared so many special moments throughout the course of their respective careers. Federer with another lovely serve. He's got off to a flyer here. In terms of this evening, Robbie, when we all had our expectation, when we heard that it was going to happen, how do you think the reality has panned out this evening?
Well, I think the fact that we have this place packed out is testimony to how well everything has gone down. Preparations have been so meticulous, and just to get to see these guys in living color is a dream for so many people here. I know how many messages I've received in the last 3 or 4 months, people requesting tickets, and I think it's gone about as good as it possibly could. We had huge corporate sponsors involved. It's pretty much everything you would want from an event like this.
We're hoping, of course, to set a world record this evening. When will we get to know officially how many made it through the turnstiles, Rory?
Yeah, we'll check in with the auditor, Johan Norki, at the end of the match. He's got the official figures. So announcement will be made, Jace.
See backstage just counting the ticket stubs.
Yeah, he's running out of time. Hopefully he can get through them before the end of this one. Just in case one of these guys runs away with it. How good is that? That's where the double hand comes into play. And how good is that?
It's just the angle he's able to create with that backhand, because it's not like he hits it with spin to create it. It's a hard, flat shot. So good. Oh, such good strength there in the pronation of the forearm and wrist.
There's not too many players in the world that can pull off this shot. Timing is exquisite. Game here for Roger, just trying to extend his lead. Thought about going over, but I then remembered who the hometown boy was, in inverted commas.
So Federer gets the hold, moves within a couple of games of victory here in Cape Town. Are the fans of anybody else, Robbie, that go to so much trouble in terms of coming prepared to Federer's matches?
That's a good question. And again, all our years of commentary together, we've seen some pearlers, haven't we? The best one though of all time was Shanghai, and it said, the only thing I love more than Roger Federer is free Wi-Fi.
And if you've ever been to China, you know how difficult it is to get any kind of Wi-Fi at all, so that really did tickle us. We need to get mics down to Rafa and Roger here, don't we?
Yeah. Of course, we heard the song a fair bit in Australia this year, didn't we, Jason?
And we also saw the retirement of Caroline Wozniacki, didn't we? So appropriate. What a great career she's had. We wish her well from here on in. You getting ready, partner? It'll be a solo effort. So time running out here for Nadal in this deciding set. Oh, look at that! I mean, how good is that?
I mean, he's done a full 360.
Even Federer can't believe it. Check this out.
That is outrageous. Stop it, he says.
This is supposed to be my night. It's a lovely shot.
He was onto that in a flash. Yes, he enjoyed that. Better feeling than when you flush a forehand.
Of course, there's flushing and flushing. Flushed a few down the pan in my time, but quite timed them as well as that one.
We are. Enjoyed this one. Yep, fast as lightning. Just waiting for the new balls to be rolled out.
It's those ball kids again. What's that guy in a cap?
He's one of the top juniors in the country, that young kid there that you saw giving the balls to Federer. Goes by the name of Devin Bardenhorst.
What's your son Luke ranked? He was one of the ball kids out there this evening.
Well, the problem is he's ranked behind that guy, Devin. For starters.
Does he take after his dad? All hands and no work rate.
No. Definitely better than his dad, that's for sure. So he's got the height advantage, and that counts a lot.
There it is again. So good with that little backhand slam dunk. Looks so easy on TV. It's such a difficult shot to generate this kind of pace into the court. Federer just a game away now. So getting the job done here in Cape Town. Everybody here in Cape Town has had such a wonderful time here this evening, enjoying a bit of fun doubles initially with the likes of Bill Gates and Trevor Noah. Federer and Gates getting the win, 6-3, and then of course the main event between Roger and Rafa, all in aid of the Roger Federer Foundation, which does such sterling work in Central and Southern Africa. Oh, very nice. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed this evening, you can also help. Go to matchinafrica.com/donate. Vast majority of the money goes to children in nursery school and preschools in the likes of Zambia, Malawi, Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and of course here in South Africa. This is the moment of truth as far as Federer is concerned, an opportunity here to serve it out, get a win here in the match in Africa. A chance here for Nadal. Fans clamouring for Nadal to make the most of this break point. Fans clamouring for Nadal to make the most of this break point. A little more pop on that serve. Clamouring for Nadal to make the most of this break point. And what a way to finish it, sir. A little moment of magic from Federer. Wraps up the match in Africa in 3 sets. Clamouring for Nadal to make the most of this break point. And what a way to finish it, sir. A little moment of magic from Federer. Wraps up the match in Africa in 3 sets. Clamouring for Nadal to make the most of this break point. And what a way to finish it, sir. A little moment of magic from Federer. Wraps up the match in Africa in 3 sets. Clamouring for Nadal to make the most of this break point. And what a way to finish it, sir. A little moment of magic from Federer. There's no doubt that everybody enjoyed themselves here this evening. This was a moment from Federer that sealed the deal. Saw some fabulous shot making from both. In difficult conditions, very, very windy inside this majestic stadium. Everybody understanding not only the importance of their rivalry down the years, but their great friendship too. That's what has made this evening so very special. A homecoming of sorts for Federer here in Africa, hand in hand with his greatest rival and one of his closest friends.
Partida de tennis, tell us about the experience and just how competitive this match was.
Well, we tried our best as always, no, and the energy have been just fantastic. No, we can't. I think we can describe our feelings. It's a lifetime experience playing in front of such an amazing crowd, an amazing stadium. It's not my first time playing here in South Africa. I played when I was a kid, but it's my first time like a professional player. No, and I just can say well done to Roger and all his family, all his team, because the organization of this event have been just fantastic. Have been a big pleasure for me to be part of it, and just encourage Roger, and here I am for everything that he needs for these good causes. No, he's doing a great job here, great work with his foundation in South Africa and all around. I think promoting the good values and helping kids that really need. And that's the only thing that really matters. No, try to give back as much as we can. We have been a very lucky person, so just thanks everybody for supporting and for making this day very, very special.
Muchas gracias, Roger. This is a homecoming of sorts for you, and I know a very emotional moment as well. It's a charity match, but I mean, you look at the competitive matchup that you gave us here. You gave us a proper show.
I mean, I hope we did. I really think the people wanted to see us to play proper tennis and not just be clowns all the time. I love clowns, but look, it was such a privilege to be here tonight. Of course, we want to try to play the best tennis we can. That's what we're world famous for. And it was an absolute pleasure to share the court with Rafa again. But the first time here in beautiful Cape Town and in South Africa means so much more. And it's an it really is very, very special on so many levels. Rafa mentioned it. This is so much more than just tennis, and I really hope we can do it again. I hope Rafa can do it again one day, come back to this beautiful country. I'm so proud to have roots down here. And thank you very much for coming, everybody. It really is so, so special. I don't know if we'll ever have a stadium, you know, this big in tennis again. I hope the record will be broken soon or one day, because it's great for tennis, it's great for charity, it's great to inspire and motivate kids and other people to do good. And he's a kind man, Rafa. You were kind enough to come here tonight. So did Bill, so did Trevor, and it was a magical evening. Thank you so, so much.
It certainly was a magical evening, Robbie. Let's get a different perspective of what it is that we have just witnessed here. Roger spoke about the special guests who really also gave it their all in the doubles match. Robbie?
Yeah, we certainly had two iconic people in the world. One is a homegrown boy in Trevor Noah, and what Bill Gates has done for all of us around the world. And of course, how blessed are we to have these guys visit with us and love the sport that we so dearly love. Please come stand alongside me here, gentlemen. Let me jump in the middle. First of all, Bill, you've done some pretty cool things in your life. Where does the Match for Africa rank in the pantheon of cool things that Bill Gates has done?
It's pretty close to the top. I mean, the three people I played with, I really admire, and tennis is an incredible hobby. I encourage everybody to try it, so this is unforgettable.
And I think, given the fact now that you're 3-0 with this guy Federer, I mean, there's a good chance that you might let him play with you again, right?
We might. We'll have to find, it'd be hard to top this though. So we don't want it to be anticlimactic, but
there's a good chance that you might let him play with you again, right?
We might. We'll have to find, it'd be hard to top this though. So we don't want it to be anticlimactic, but we might do it again.
We'd love to see you back on the tennis court in any Match for Africa, Bill. Thank you so much. Trevor, your partner today, was it a little bit of an over-promise, under-deliver from him? Was it a bit too much hype with all the 12 French Opens and 19 majors? What went wrong today?
I just want to say I'm so proud of that young man over there. You know, Rafa Nadal, I saw him when he started out, and I said, one day I'm going to play with that kid. And you know, before the match, he said to me, he said, what do I do? I said, you just be yourself, Rafa. You just be yourself and you trust. And we went in there, and I mean, if you want to go doubles pro, Rafa, I think we can do this thing. We look good in pink together. We played an amazing game, and I think you've got something, man. I think you've got something.
Trevor, I'm sure you've done some amazing things. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Bill. in all the cool things that you've done in your life, where does this one rank up there?
I don't even think this is rankable. You know, to be in South Africa, my home, the country that lifted me into the world, to be playing with Bill Gates, a man who invented an operating system that changed my life and took me into the world, to be playing against two of the greatest tennis players in not just our lifetime, but possibly of all time, in one of the greatest cities in the world, is truly an experience I don't even think I can fully comprehend and absorb right now. You know, I think events like these remind South Africans what we're capable of. It reminds us of the magic we can achieve. You know, we come together when sports are being played, and I think we need to keep this energy as a nation, because this is where we need to move forward too. We need to keep excelling. We need to keep getting better. We need to keep thriving. We need to keep striving to be better as a country. And nights like tonight remind us of what we can do as a country.
Such fantastic words, and we can't thank you enough for being the most amazing ambassador for this country, Trevor. And Bill, we can't thank you enough for everything that you and Melinda have done to support this lovely country of ours that we all love so much. A big thank you to you and your lovely wife and your foundation.
Thank you again, guys. It's been an incredible evening for tennis, most certainly in South Africa, and for raising funds for the Roger Federer Foundation and early learning and education. Well, I'm very pleased to announce that the match in Africa has raised, listen to this, $3.5 million US. And that is the largest amount that has ever been raised in the Match for Africa series. So round of applause, Cape Town.
Well, of course, there's so many people to thank, but a big thank you to both Trevor and Bill for being here and supporting the Roger Federer Foundation. I think we can all agree that we've had some incredible star power in the house tonight. In fact, we've got one more announcement to make, folks. Tonight, we try to beat the world record as far as attendance at a tennis match is concerned. The number to beat was 42,217, which was set at an exhibition match in Mexico City last November when Roger took on Alexander Zverev. So, let's see how many people we have in attendance tonight. And with the official result is our auditor here, Mr. Johan Noki. Johan?
All right, do the honors. The official number, ladies and gentlemen, is 51,954. Congratulations to all of you here tonight. We are record breakers. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us here in Cape Town Stadium. A big thanks to all of the fans for joining us. Of course, we've got so many of them here. You just heard the number in the stadium. Many more, millions all over the world that tuned in to the match in Africa. And a big thanks as well for supporting the wonderful work of the Roger Federer Foundation.
Yes, a big thank you to all our performers as well. Let's not forget the Ndlovu Youth Choir, the Zip Zap Circus, the stage crew, the broadcast teams, and everybody else who has poured their heart and souls into this, the greatest tennis experience in the world.
From all of us, we've loved every minute of the match in Africa, but it's not over yet.
South Africa.
Africa. It is
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for. It's searching in the dark, your sweat soaking through the floor. Buried in your bones, there's an ache that you can't ignore. Taking your breath, stealing your mind, and all that was real is left behind. Don't fight, it's coming for you, running at you. It's all that is the moment of your comes back. Don't feel a dream, can't you see it's getting closer? Just surrender cause you feel the pain taking over. It's fire, it's freedom, it's starting open. It's a picture in the puppet and you find devotion.